Hey, school success makers. Welcome to another edition of the School Success Podcast. I'm your host, Mitchell Slater, and today we're going to do something new that we've actually never done before. We're gonna try it out and see. Let's just see how it goes. We kind of finished our mini series where we're going through things that you guys can do to help with enrollment, since we're obviously right in the middle of enrollment season. But then we've had some just great episodes in the past, and we've had over 100 episodes for the School Success Podcast, which is just awesome. So many great people, great interviews, and just great things that I've learned, and I know you guys have learned as well. So we're going to try something. We're going to do some episodes with just highlights of the different things we've learned from the different guests we've had on, and we're going to try and piece a few of them together for each week, so you guys can kind of get a recap of some of the biggest takeaways, the biggest moments that we've had on the podcast. So that's what we're going to do. So a little different, but I hope you guys enjoy and get some little nuggets from the episodes that you can, again, as always, take back to your school to make it better than it is right now. So please enjoy this week's highlights and episodes from past episodes on the School Success Podcast. Enjoy.
I think we're a nonprofit organization, so we rely on the generosity of supporters. And a lot of that support typically happens through building relationships in person. So as a nonprofit leader leading through a global pandemic, it's been really interesting trying to figure out how to connect with people during such a difficult time. We also saw the kind of social outpouring that followed the murder of George Floyd. We saw our students becoming activists and really spurring on conversations at their schools about curriculum and what it means to be educated in America, and what that constitutes, and whose experiences are reflected in the curriculum. And the politics and the social discourse around all of that has definitely had an impact on the organization.
I tried to actually visit a lot of churches in our area and talk to the pastor after the service and say, hey, this is what I'm doing, starting a classical Christian school in our community, and try to set up a time to meet with them, tell them more about the school, find out more about the church. And that's been a real good way to connect with some of the leaders, spiritual leaders in the community.
Hey, school success makers, just a really quick break to highlight one of our amazing sponsors, and that is ClassReach. Now, ClassReach supports schools of all sizes from application to graduation. Take charge of your school with ease, power, and mobility using ClassReach, the school management software administrators and teachers love using. You can get your free demo at classreach.com. That's classreach.com. They are amazing people, and they provide this amazing SIS software for you to keep track of your students' grades, communicating with families that are enrolled, and a whole bunch more. So again, check it all out on their website, classreach.com. They are awesome. All right, now back to the show.
I feel like my staff worked twice as hard actually during the pandemic, because they wanted to make sure that our young people were okay. And my board wanted to make sure that our young people were okay, but they also thought about the staff. There's a lot of vicarious trauma. We talked a lot about, the educational impact of, remote learning. But we, I think, may have missed some opportunities to really think about, the fact that it wasn't just educational gaps that our students were seeing. Some of our students were sick. Some of their family members were sick. Some of their family members passed away. Some of our parents lost employment during this pandemic. And so there was a ripple effect for our community. And I'm glad that I'm part of an organization and a community and have partnership with a board that really kind of looked at the whole community to figure out how we could stay connected and take care of each other.
And then using some of the social media to get the word out in our community. Facebook advertising, we invested in that. I love that because you don't spend money on the whole just one big advertising. We just pay on the number of people that click on the link. So it's actually people that are interested in learning about your school. Those are the ones you're paying for. And so we're able to advertise through that, and that's been helpful. I've had a number of families say they found out about the school through Facebook. So that's been useful.
Hey, school success makers, just a really quick break from the episode to highlight our amazing sponsors over at America's Christian Credit Union. They are celebrating 65 years of service this year, and they provide essential school banking services and a tuition financing program for schools looking to reduce their risk and administrative burden. And you guys can find out all about them on their website, americaschristiancu.com/schools. That's americaschristiancu.com/schools. They are amazing over there, and I always like to say, if you're a school that collects tuition and you have a hard time collecting all of tuition at the end of the year, maybe it comes around May, June, you're like, man, we only got collected 95 or 98% of what tuition was owed to our school. One of the things you can do is have your parents get a tuition financing loan through the credit union, and then they pay the credit union directly, and you get your funds up front at the beginning of the year as the school. So you don't have to chase people throughout the year, and you can focus on what you do best, and that is loving and educating your students. And it doesn't cost your school anything to do it. So check them out online, americaschristiancu.com/schools. All right, back to the show.
You know, as school leaders, sometimes you're focused on the lowest performing students and celebrating the highest performing students, but most of the kids are in the middle and they're waiting to be seen. You know what I'm saying? For their presence to be reflected in how the organization, the institution sets priorities. So I like to think that every young person in your school building has one adult, just one. You can't be everything to all the people, but everybody deserves to have one adult who is invested in their success.
And if you can teach a kid to think well and teach a kid to communicate well and equip them with those tools of learning, they're going to be useful wherever they go, and whatever they're called to do, they're going to be well prepared for that. And so it's I really love the classical model of education.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that recap of some of the past episodes we've had on the podcast. And as always, I'm just hoping that you guys can take at least one thing away from any of these episodes that you can take back to your school to make your school better than it is right now. There's so many great things inside of these podcast episodes that we're hoping you guys can take back and use. So if you need to, go back and scan through some of the episodes. You can read through them and see some of the different people we've interviewed, the topics that we've talked about, and maybe you can grab something from there that maybe you're currently in the middle of, or you're going through, or you just wanted some extra help or guidance on. Great way to kind of scan back through and look at the podcast. But hoping you guys kind of enjoy these kind of quick recap episodes. And as always, I've mentioned it before, we have 3 great free resources for you guys to check out. The first one, of course, is what you're listening to right now. It is the podcast. It's free, weekly episodes coming out that we want you guys to make sure you're chiming into and listening to and soaking in. The second one, we have a great Facebook community that we want you guys to make sure you're a part of, completely free. And it's called School Success Makers. So if you're on Facebook, go join in there. I'm personally in there. Love to see you in there as well. Or you can ask questions, connect with some different school leaders that are in there from all over the world. And then the last one of all of that is our School Success Report, which you can sign up for on our website currently, schoolsuccessmakers.com. In the top right-hand corner, you can click the button School Success Report. It is a weekly email that will go out, just kind of going over different articles that our team has written, highlighting some teachers, giving some articles and ideas that we have come across that we want to make sure you guys are seeing as well. So make sure you're getting that every week. Some great content that the team has prepared so we can put it out there for you guys to check out. And as always, if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, or ideas, we want to hear from those, and we want to hear from you with those. So please contact us through our website, schoolsuccessmakers.com, and let us know those so we can better serve you guys. And we love you. We appreciate you. And we'll be back here next week with another awesome episode as usual on the School Success Podcast. We'll see you then.